Well, hello guys. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Here I am already. Can't talk this morning. Had a pretty rough couple days, by the way. I ate something that didn't agree with me, and Grace and I have determined it's a very strong possibility the honey that I had purchased is not agreeing with me. And so I guess I'm not be able to satisfy my sweet tooth again. Speaking of that, I need to check my sugar levels this morning. I'll do that after the video. They should be okay because I feel pretty good this morning, finally. But that's where we're at on that. So I'm back up and running again. I got a couple new baby chicks. More on the way. One of my incubators has just started hatching yesterday. And it should be hatching for the next 3 days, I think. Something like that. And I forgot the dates on the other incubator. I have to go look at it and see. But anyway, I'm more concerned about the one I got right now. Since I've adjusted the temperature on it, see if I improve my hatch rate over the past couple of rounds. Of course, we went through a time where during those storms on the previous hatch, which ended up with more chicks than I expected. I think I ended up with, around 10, which is not bad considering we had loss of power on several nights. The incubators didn't have power. So I'll not complain. I'll not complain. Each one that hatches is one more. Well, what about that? Anyway, we got this batch here. I think I'm pretty sure it's the mostly should be from the Shamu. Now my Shamu right now, Grace did a video if y'all watched that. She is now sitting on her eggs, and should be around a dozen of them. I don't know how many will hatch. So according to my calculations, they should be due somewhere around the 12th to the 15th of December. We'll see. Hopefully we'll have some success with those. It would be nice. And what we plan on doing, from the offspring on that, I really hate to do crossbreeding, but I think it will help me reduce our losses. I'll take the offspring on that when they get old enough, do some crossbreeding with my other chickens. Because I cannot figure out why we have so much loss. They seem like, so far with the chicks that I've have now, they're from the Shamu rooster, they seem to be more active and we'll see. They're doing good. I got so much free ranging out back, and their dad is the Shamu. I think there are two groups of them, and they seem to be very, very active and very strong. And the weather here, as you know it, I woke up to rain. I woke up to rain yesterday morning. Rain this morning. Of course, it's not raining right now, but I think it's still sprinkling a little bit. I can hear drops of rain hitting the metal. I can't wait to this rainy season finally come to an end. And, oh, by the way, Grace had a little success yesterday. Good news. I don't know if I told you guys or not, but we bought, well, Grace did, about a dozen goats. And they've been over to, on the other side, of Grace calls it, being taken care of. And she actually sold them yesterday at a reasonable profit, which is right now in desperate need of with everything going on. So that's going to be a big help. Oh, coffee. So that's an update on something that's happening. Occasionally we at Grace will buy a few goats and gamble on trying to make a little bit, which in this case it worked out. I've been watching some videos on some repair videos. I got this thing about watching repair videos. And I was watching one this morning that brought back some memories. The guy was going over a 67 Corvette, the 427 in it. Brought back some memories. I've never owned one personally, but I've experienced that era of vets. And they were unique. You know, when you get into the 60s, that's before all this electronics came available and missions and so forth. And to experience that raw power. Oh, and you know, nowadays it's hard to find that. You know, General Motors and Ford and Chrysler, the 427, the 327 in the General Motors line, two of my favorite engines. And of course, you know, Chrysler with their 340, and then the Hemi, the 426. Wow. That was something. The Ford, what they did with their 302. Oh man, that was something. You know, and Ford had some really good engines. You know, that 390 they had, it was a workhorse. And it had bottom end torque. It was something awful. Well, not awful, it was fantastic. My uncle happened to have a Galaxy convertible with that 398 with a 4-speed. Oh, that thing was wicked. You know, it's the horsepower years was something to experience. I was fortunate enough to catch the tail end of it. I was a teenager at the time, in the early 70s. I did get to experience the Mustang with the 428 Cobra Jet. Oh man, that was one bad apple. It was wicked. I don't know if any of y'all out there got to experience some of these vehicles. It'd be nice to see some comments on it. You know, some of the things you might have experienced or even owned. Closest thing I got to owning anything was probably I did own a couple of 307s and 327s. Those were, you know, a lot of people didn't like the 307, but I had some very good luck out of those engines. I've owned, I had a couple of Novas, 71 Novas with that 307 in it. And they were excellent cars, and they was quite spunky. They wasn't no powerhouse, but they were reliable and fuel efficient for what they were. I picked up a 67 Impala, the 327 in it. You know, that big body and that 327 small block, it get up and dance. It was a powerhouse. You know, of course, my experience with those cars were mainly, I did keep one of the Novas for a long time, but I usually just swapped and trade and try to make a few dollars, go through them and try to make them run a little better and tune them up, one thing or another. As a teen, in my early 20s, that was something. I picked up a 170 mile Nova. It was a four-door car, and it had a running issue. Of course, that's during the point ignitions, and I had a dwell meter on it, and I noticed that the dwell wouldn't stable; it just kept floating back and forth. So I pulled the distributor out, and under close examination, the lobes for those points road were uneven. They were worn uneven. So I forgot what I paid for a new distributor at that time. It wasn't much, probably 40 or 50 bucks, something like that. But I put a new distributor in it. It was a high mileage car at that time. I think it had about 150,000. It done turned over. I think it's back up to around 50,000. And I put a new timing chain in it, a new distributor, and it turned out to make a great car. And I sold it, and people drove it. I seen it on the road for many years. You had to pass it on the road. And it had air conditioning and of course, cranking windows. But it turned out to be a very nice car. But anyway, I was just reminiscing after watching some videos, this one repair video. So I'm curious if anybody out there has some experiences with some of these cars before the emissions took over. And if you do, drop some comments there and let me see what kind of stories you can come up with. So, guys, always give a smile when you're out and about. You might actually get another smile back. Y'all take care now.